From the Hill Country in Texas, this is OneRadioNetwork.com.
Well, a very pleasant good afternoon to you. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the show this morning with Dr. Dannenberg. And now we're going to, I don't know what we're going to do, because Dave Wise says you never know what he's up to. He's a cool guy, one of our faves, Flat Earth Dave. And he contends and proves that, and he believes, and I believe, that the Earth is an immovable plane that doesn't spin around the sun. And they call this Flat Earth. I think we need a new name because Flat Earth, people kind of poo-poo that name Flat Earth, don't they, Dave? They say, like it's crazy conspiracy, right? Flat Earth.
Well, Flat Earth, Flat Earth has been weaponized like conspiracy theorists and whatnot. But you know what? I'm owning it. I'm Flat Earth Dave,
Let's own it. Yeah.
We're going to take it back. We're going to take it back because, we've gone over this, Patrick. The people that think Flat Earth are stupid are right. Their vision of what Flat Earth is stupid. Okay, a disc floating in space. Nobody believes that. No Flat Earther believes that. Only globe believers that laugh at Flat Earth believe that. And yes, it's laughable because we're not that. You're mixing two fake models, a fake Flat Earth model with the nonsense heliocentric globe model. So
a lot of people think that I didn't know that there's some flat Earth that goes around the sun.
Well, no. When you look up Flat Earth, if you Google Flat Earth or they mention it on the news, they show you an image like this. If you could show my screen a little bit,
okay.
This turnip floating in space, right?
Or
a disc, a flat disc with other round planets. And they go, "What? You're the only flat planet?" And that is dumb. You have a false model. You're laughing at what's called a straw man. Okay, and that's all they have. The best proof of the globe are straw mans of the flat Earth. So, it's only when you say, okay, well, put my ego down. I'm going to address what appears to be total nonsense, the Earth being flat, total nonsense. And then when you look, you go, oh my God, it's not nonsense. It's real. And it's only then when you are forced to look and accurately look, not just Google. You Google Flat Earth, you're going to get fed what Google wants you to see, a bunch of nonsense. But when you start looking, and start seeing what's going on, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed on how crazy it is.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead. You first.
Let me ask. So could there be a good argument, if you want to put on your tinfoil hat above your flat Earth head, is that when Google and YouTube and these things try to take you somewhere else on purpose, there's a reason for that? Well, what could their reason be? What could their reason be?
Well, they love hiding truth. We know that about Google. Anyone that's been trying to research what's going on in the world, that when you're over the truth, it gets hidden from you. You get deleted, you get deplatformed, and stuff. It's interesting. They allow Flat Earth to be on YouTube, but they make it impossible to find. Like on my app, there's tons of resources, and those are right now, they're based on YouTube. We're backed up and ready with them on other platforms when YouTube comes crashing down. But unless you have the direct link to them, Google searching for them won't find it. Like one of our favorite videos, one of our introductory videos is called The Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. Pretty unique name. It's got millions and millions of views. It's been uploaded numerous times. Doesn't show up when you search it. You get other nonsense. You get the same nonsense.
What's the name of it, Dave? What's the name of it?
A Stranger's Guide to Flat Earth 21 Questions. Now, depending, I think they have algorithms. Like if they know that you've been searching Flat Earth and researching, they might let that show up. But if you go on a fresh computer, somebody that's never Googled Flat Earth, that video doesn't show up. Did it show up for you?
Let's plug your thing first. So make sure we do that. So what do you got there coming up? Something big?
Yeah, this is big. We're doing a first ever virtual summit this Friday. Starts, I think, about 4 p.m. Eastern, goes, until midnight or so. And then it's all day Saturday into Saturday night. And we have speakers, not some of the best Flat Earth presenters. I'm in there. I don't know if I'm considering myself the best, but I
think you're one of the best.
I do have a niche. We have Ben from Taboo Conspiracy. That one's going to blow you away. I have no idea what he's going to do. Peggy Hall from The Healthy American.
Oh, yeah, we know her. Yeah.
She has stepped out and says Earth is stationary and immovable. She comes from from a biblical side, but
Mm.
also a scientific side. Right?
Mhm.
There's people that don't believe in biblical stuff. They just look at science. Well, science works for everybody, real science. And then, hey, the Bible backs it up too. You want to come from a biblical side, but you're not. People go, oh, this is a religious thing. Nope, it's a scientific thing, and religions also backs it up. We have Owen Benjamin and Alex Stein. They're going to do some comedy about flat Earth, and most people know who both of those gentlemen are.
Yeah.
We have Amanda Vollmer, who's
yeah, she's been on the show many times. I didn't know that she was a flat earther. I didn't know that.
Everyone on this is coming from a flat stationary foundation. We have Brian from High Impact Flicks. Now, Brian, I would say he still has more questions than most, but he knows we're not on a spinning ball, and that's all that matters, right? Flat earthers know that we don't know a lot about what this realm is, how, who,
exactly,
where, right? But we know for a scientific fact that we're not on a spinning ball flying through an impossible Narnia space vacuum, right?
That's the big deal, right, David? I mean, that's the mother lode, because nobody knows if the moon is solid or not. I think it's a plasma, but that's just me. I can't prove it, right? You can't prove it. We don't know how big it is, this plane, do we? I mean, it could be. It could be forever over the ice wall, couldn't it?
There's so much to look into there. But just the last thing, it's called the True Earth Mount Meru Summit, and you can find it at the initials for that TE True Earth Mount Meru Summit MMS TEMMS.live, or to make everything easy, all my links, everything, including the summit, is at flatearthdave.com. Flatearthdave.com. You can find everything.
You'll get everything.
And just remember, hold on. It's you're supporting your favorite truther, okay? That all the presenters have a discount code. Mine is FEDave50, gets you 50% off. So that brings the price down to FEDave50. No spaces. Yeah, so at checkout put FEDave50 and your ticket goes down to from $100 to $50.
Oh, that's very affordable. And we'll put both links on there, the TEMMS.live, and we'll also put flatearthdave.com, and also FEDAVE50, right?
FEDAVE50. That's the discount code for when you check out. And it's this Friday, the 11th and 12th, Saturday the 12th. And if you, hey, that's a long time to be sitting and watching stuff. You can rewatch it. You can rewatch it for, I think, up to over a month. So if you missed something, you can rewatch it anytime you want. So come on and support people coming up. And I think Peggy Hall, also, her speech alone is going to be worth the price of admission, because I'm hoping that other truthers that have a name, and there's many of them out there, that are in the closet, right? I could name right off the top of my head, I can name 10 truthers that everyone listening knows these people, because they're either famous, super famous, like Hollywood, major famous, or they're in the truth community preaching, health and not paying attention to nonsense. But they're just, and justifiably so, they're trying to hold their lives together. And and when you come out with flat Earth, you get a lot of flack. But here, imagine this: what if 10 or 50 or 100 big names all came out on the same day? They all released videos going, "This is how I see the Earth." Right? That is a tidal wave that cannot be stopped. And it will go all the way across our realm. And that's the end of it. So I'm hoping that people get inspired by the summit. Check it out. You're going to learn so much. If you're a flat earther, do not miss this. If you think flat Earth is stupid, do not miss this. Okay?
That covers everybody.
Yeah, it covers everybody.
So, can folks, if they can't do this thing, can they just pay the money and then get the video?
Absolutely. You get it, and then you can watch it anytime you want.
Watch it anytime you want.
Watch it for whenever. It'll be up for you. I think. Yeah. I know it's at least a month. It's probably forever, though. I think it's forever.
So it's called True Earth
Mount Meru Summit, and the website is TEMMS.live. And
what's Mount Meru?
Mount Meru is the magnetic center of our Earth. So that's some ancient cultures believe that there's a magnetic mountain at the center of our pond, and that's called Mount Meru.
I thought it was called BlackRock, believe it or not.
BlackRock. No,
Seriously,
they're the ones that own our world.
I know they own everything.
You know what? And again, I'm not saying there's a mountain there. I think there's some sort of thing that they call Mount Meru. It's very, very, very interesting. Again, we know that we don't know a lot of things, but when we use science and we look at the nonsense that they tell us, the distance and size of stars, the composition of space, scientifically impossible, the motions of the Earth, impossible. All of this stuff, people standing antipodal to each other, upside down, gravity's holding you down, okay, and holding the air down. It's so nonsense when you think. But the problem is when you're told by authority, you're told your whole life from when you're a child, that these things are true. It's easier to believe, right? It's easier to believe, right?
I understand. Yeah.
You believe that I live on the East Coast of the United States. You don't know it until you actually go out and prove it. Go online, check me out on Facebook, find my friends, find my high school. Okay, yeah, he probably does live there. But but if we had to go through our life confirming every single thing we're told, we would run out of time. We'd never get anything done. So we have to be trusting, believing people, and that's how they get away with it. Right? Yeah. Because the evil that's running this world is beyond what even many awake and aware truthers can imagine.
Yes, sir. David Wise is with us. If you care to join us, please do. 888-663-6386. Ask him a tough question. I get pummeled when I put you on stuff on Facebook, so come on in. Also, Patrick at oneradioNetwork.com. There's a very famous and well-respected lady. Her name, really pretty lady, and she's a psychiatrist. You know who I mean? It'll come to me. But I saw we put a video on our front page, and she is really close to becoming a total flat earther. Do you know who I mean? Brogan.
Yeah.
Kelly Brogan.
Kelly Brogan. She interviewed me, and she's
almost there, right?
Listen, you can say almost there. And basically anyone that's questioning the globe is already a flat earther.
They already there.
Come out and said it. So Kelly has done many talks on the flat earth topic. So
she has. Oh,
yeah. I mean, she's talked to me and she's put out other videos with it. So I don't like throwing people out there that that without their permission, but she's put out enough stuff where if you don't realize that she's questioning the shape of the earth, you're not paying attention.
Yeah. Jerry wants to know, thanks for having Dave on. Has any of you ever been on Joe Rogan's show? Can he get on there?
Yeah, Joe Rogan is the guy. He used to be the poster boy for We Never Went to the Moon, right? And his famous quote is, "There's no way you can convince me we went to the moon. No way." And he was breaking stuff down so amazingly. And this was at the beginning of his major rise. And then all of a sudden, he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on. Joe was wearing an orange, astronaut suit. And Joe's like, "Oh, really? Really?" Neil's throwing out a bunch of nonsense. And then he goes, "Well, yeah, maybe we didn't go. Maybe we did go, And all of a sudden, then Joe gets a contract, a multi-million-dollar television contract for Joe Rogan Discovers Everything. And, now he's got $100 million from Spotify. Joe, unfortunately, has sold out. He even said in a famous interview, "I'd lie to my mother." He goes, "Just give me the information. I'll lie to my mother." Right. And when the money gets that big, Joe puts out some great interviews. I'll give him that. He's a great interviewer, but he pushes out a lot of stuff, which I absolutely think is disgusting. And the fact that he is lying to our faces, he knows we didn't go to the moon. He knows, unless of course he's been completely MK Ultra'd. And in between his transition, he took a couple weeks off and then he came back. Maybe they literally
who knows
brain surgery, MK Ultra mind control on him. So he's not lying in his mind, but he's lying, period. So sorry, Joe.
Well, I mean, to be fair, anybody that believes we really went to the moon as advertised, come on. I mean, there's just no way.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
There's no way.
let me pull up my screen.
Okay. Yeah.
This is my app, which can be found at flatearthdave.com. And one of the images in here, this is my favorite. This alone, look at this. This thing went to the moon. Look at it. It's made from paper mache and tin foil and scotch tape and duct tape. Look at these seams. Okay.
Wow.
Look at this. This is airtight. This is not even structural.
That's an actual picture? That's an actual picture?
Actual NASA photograph of the LEM on the moon. Look, there's an astronaut over there. You see him standing in the corner?
Oh, that's right. There he is.
Right. And look at that ladder, that rinky ladder. I mean, come on, people. It's like that alone, that picture alone tells you, look at these legs. Look at the structure of these legs. What is this? What is this thing? Okay. Absolute nonsense. I used to go, well, they're showing us that because they're hiding the real technology because the Russians, we can't let the Russians know the advanced technology. Cool story, bro. But it's nonsense. It's absolute and total nonsense. Right? Right. In 1964, we built that. Beautiful. Look at that thing. Mach 3.2. And then in 1972, we built this. Okay. If that was a 5th grade project for a fort to go hang out in, you would fail because it's a disaster. I could build better from a cardboard refrigerator box.
You think they just kind of rub our nose in it and think just because they must think we're, I don't know.
Patrick, they do that. They purposely rub our nose in it, and they're laughing. They're absolutely laughing at us, right? They're absolutely laughing. This is so the high res photographs. We could see that they're cutting and pasting the same pieces in there.
Oh, the same pieces in there. Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Yeah. And then there's another one over here. The same thing, right? They're horrible that they're cutting and pasting. Right.
Here's a great question to kick things off, and we're going to talk about eclipses too, which prompted me to call you and set this up because we had a total solar eclipse this morning, right, on 5 o'clock Central Time. But George wants to know, well, how can you flat earthers say that everything that they show you from space, Hubble, and the rest of them in the space station are all CGI? You can't prove they're CGI. You just say they are.
Well, that's funny. I mean, when you look at like the James Webb telescope, okay,
right,
and the images they show us, right, they're horrible. They're horrible. They're absolutely horrible. So this is me, sped up a little bit, but I almost did it this fast, making a James Webb image. Okay, this is me. Right. And it looks better than theirs. It looks absolutely better than theirs. Right. And so let me show you. If I can find it. Where did I do that? Where did it go? All right. So here is. All right. So I made that, and I even put myself in space right there. That's me. I'm part of the galaxy.
Oh, you made this on a computer?
I made that, right? I made it on a friggin' iPhone. I didn't even make it on a computer. Okay.
Wow.
It's that simple. And then people say, oh, how do you know everything's face? Well, here's a couple of articles that have just come out in the last week or two. Okay. Right. Passing star shifting Neptune's orbit could wreck the solar system. New scientist, right? Look at this picture. Do you think that's a real picture? Look at another one. Okay. NASA enhances James Webb Space Telescope images with X-ray filter. Look at that. Mine is better than this, right? To believe that that this stuff, and all of these, none of these say photos. They all say digital, image, or they never use.
They don't say photos.
They say picture or image. Right? Astronauts discover giantly fully toasted marshmallow gas planet orbiting small star. Okay, look at this. Okay, and NASA will admit these aren't real. Okay, 30,000 near Earth asteroids. Oh my God, be scared of this cartoon. Okay, to say these are real is you're just not a thinking person. Okay, astronomers have a cataclysmic nuke theory to explain Uranus tilt. Okay, look at these articles. right? And then, of course, ending it, Uranus smells like rotten eggs. These are from NASA, okay? NASA, right? So to say everything is fake, yeah, you know, I get it, but NASA admits these things are fake, okay? When you ask NASA, do you have an composited photo of Earth? And NASA's like, well, no, we don't, you know. And their visual artist, Robert Simon, said that he made it in Photoshop because it has to be. And he sucks again with his cut and paste, same clouds again and again and again.
And he's on tape saying this too, David, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So
this, we played the video that Eric just put out on this whole U.S. Space Force robotic, the plane, you know, that simulates gravity. Pretty cool. It's about a 7-minute video. We played it just before you came on.
Oh,
and how they can do this thing, and they actually name the plane what the technology is, right? When they go up and then they come back down.
the zero-G plane.
Yeah, zero-G, and it's right on the side of the plane. I mean, you know, it's not a secret. Yeah, it's not a secret. Tell folks what I'm talking about if they didn't see the video.
So I didn't see that. I don't know which video you're talking about, but I know you can do this yourself. It's cost $5,000. It's called the zero-G flight. You go on this large jumbo jet that's all stripped out, and you're in there, and it does a parabolic arc, and you get about 20 to 40 seconds of weightlessness where you can float around. And that's how they show us many times how they show us weightlessness stuff in space. Just recently, a big YouTube channel called, I forget the name of the channel, but the guy's name was Cody Cotton. He went to space on Blue Origin, and it is the most edited nonsense you have ever seen. I contend that rocket never left the ground. No one's ever on the rocket. It's all trickery. And all of the time where they had the floating, whether they were floating for a minute or 4 minutes, like I think they said, they only show 1 to 1.5, maybe 2 seconds at a time. Right? Edit. All of that is done in a zero-G plane, in a capsule studio in the zero-G plane, where they're floating around and they're dropping balls and stuff. And it's absolutely 100% a zero-G plane. Nonsense.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And then they have everyone arguing whether, you know, the curve of the Earth changes, it warps. So everyone's like, they're using a fisheye lens. No, they're not even in space. They're just getting you to argue. Is it a fisheye lens? Is the curve real? Is it flat or is it real? But they're still in space. They're never in space. They've never left the ground.
Yeah. The one aspect of the video that we showed this morning shows very clearly how, and they went way high up, how the horizon never falls below, right? And tell folks about that. Do you have a picture of that?
Yeah. So when you say the horizon never it
goes
always
down.
rises to eye level. That's partially true. It's always below your feet. So if I'm standing 6 feet tall and I'm looking across flat water for 10, 20, 30 miles, whatever, the horizon, the water looks like it's at my eye level, but in reality, it's still 6 feet below me. It's still 6 feet below. And you know, when you go up to 127,000 feet, which this balloon is at, the horizon kind of looks like it's at eye level. But in reality, it's still below it because there's probably more land out here. We can't see the light from it. So it keeps on going farther and farther and farther, but we just can't see it because the light can't get to us. Right? That's going to be another thing I'm talking about on the summit. I'm going to be talking about, sounds really complicated, terrestrial perspective versus celestial perspective from a terrestrial point of view. And that's how they fool us, because we don't understand. Most people just like, what the heck is he talking about? It's viewing a boat on the water from the land is a terrestrial observation of a terrestrial object. Viewing an airplane even is a terrestrial observation of a atmospheric or terrestrial object because it's close enough. But viewing the stars, sun, and moon is a terrestrial perspective of a celestial object. And it's completely different than a terrestrial object.
Got it. This is Pedro. Good name. Why can't you take a picture of the flat Earth and see the edge of it?
Because there is no edge. So there's but he has a incorrect idea again. Disk floating in space, right? We're not a disk floating in space. We're not a disk anywhere. We are a we're in a pond is the way I describe it. Okay, they want us to believe that Antarctica is a continent at the bottom of the ball, but in reality, Antarctica is the shoreline of our world. So here's some photos right here of the shoreline of Antarctica. But when flat Earth, anti-globe believing flat Earth haters think that this is what we think the flat Earth is, an edge going off into space.
I see.
So the flat Earth is like a pond. And we live on this pond with all the islands, and we could circle around left and clockwise and counterclockwise. That's east and west. But if we go south, which is any direction away from Mount Meru at the center, we end up at the edge of the pond. Do we fall off into space? No, we climb up onto the land and we start walking. After a couple miles, we can't see the pond anymore. But what after a couple more miles, we find another pond? What's that about? Is that another world? Right? The Antarctic Treaty doesn't let anybody go beyond 60 degrees south without being highly supervised. Okay. Right. So we live here in this pond. This pink line is 60 degrees south, 1,000 miles or more from Antarctica. You're not allowed to cross that line. And if you do, you'll be stopped, you'll be sunk, you'll be jailed, you'll be arrested. Right. But what's out here? What's out here? Are there more ponds?
Or more land?
Yeah. More land, extra territory, I always say. Right. What if we had like a double ring system of our pond? Here's Antarctica. Here's more land, extraterrestrial, extra terra. Somebody that came from out there would be an extraterrestrial from the outer space. Here on the scientifically, physically possible Earth plane versus outer space, which is a vacuum adjacent to a pressurized atmosphere without a container. You can't have air pressure without a container, period. You cannot have it. Okay. And when people say, well, what holds the air to the Earth? And we can scientifically prove that it's not gravity, because I could take a straw and with the weak, low pressure of my mouth and lungs can suck water and air up and away from the Earth effortlessly. Wait a minute. How can the gravity hold on to the air and the vacuum of space, which is way stronger than my mouth, can't pull the air away from the Earth? Air would instantly fill the empty space. Never happened.
Now, the immovable Earth folks conjecture there is a firmament, right? Firmament over this whatever it is, and it goes up. What would be your best guess of how high that is?
I don't know, but the best guess is around 73 to 78 miles. That's pretty good guess. Because every amateur rocket that's allowed to go up as high as it can, that's about as high as it goes. And we had
stops, right? It stops.
The Go Fast rocket, it hit something. Now
it hit something.
And the damage control they came up with, the yo-yo, anti-yo-yo spin, de-spin mechanism, nonsense. I'm calling 100% nonsense on that. But it hit something, and we've had whistleblowers from NASA, who again, they're whistleblower. We can't confirm anything that they're saying, but they're telling us that that's about as high as it is. And they're not, even though they have the technology to go and explore up there, they're not allowed to. They didn't go any farther than that. Like, who's not allowing you to? Is it the officials at NASA, or is it someone that's pulling their strings?
Well, you can't go through the firmament. Isn't that this thick, kind of really magical structure?
The guy that I was talking to, he said that it gets, all of a sudden it becomes like plasma, it becomes thicker, then I think it becomes liquid, and then it becomes solid. Wow. And he goes, and that's the makeup of the sky above us. And then above that, I think there's water.
Who knows?
And anything above where we can get, or anything beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, is speculation. But there's evidence and stories, lots of stories, pointing to that, like the Iron Republic. In the late 1800s, a guy came back from the Iron Republic, said there's land there's a civilization beyond Antarctica filled, with advanced technology, flat screens, floating cars, a whole different government system.
What was this guy's name?
It's called the book is called here, got my screen up. In the app, if you go to the book section and you scroll down a couple rows, and it's called The Iron Republic. Here it is. The Iron Republic by C.J. Austin. Fantastic book. Mind blowing. And then another one you want to get, which is a real short book. And this could be fiction, but it makes scientific sense. It's called The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Wall. Just let me tell you really quick about this one. This one, it's about all these ponds, right? Let me show you what I mean by all these ponds. So all of these ponds beyond our world. So what if the world was set up like this? Okay, here we are. We live right here in this pond, right? We live in the center of this pond right here. And as you zoom out, we have other ponds that have their own suns. Okay, these are other worlds. They're just tens of thousands of miles away, not ridiculous light years. Okay, we can go and get into light years if you want. Absolute nonsense, right? But there's conflicts. Like when people are traveling in between these lands, there's conflicts. There's like, there's a hostile land, and these are friendly people, and all of this stuff, right? And all of these ships that are sailing the oceans in between them are having these skirmishes. And then they say that, but the human being, like we're very special in our pond, but we have this thing called the source, where we have this source energy, okay? And we connect the source. Hey, I like that. I've used that word before. But if you look at the whole story, it's literally Star Wars, but here on a physical plane, right? Where it's the source is the force, and all of these other ponds are other worlds, and the Galactic Federation. I mean, what a great story. Not saying it's real. I'm saying read it, open up your mind. But the other one, the Iron Republic, this is a real story. It was a New York politician got fed up with politics in the mid 1800s, sold everything, bought a big ship, got a crew, went to Antarctica, found an opening, ended up lost at sea for like months, I think. And then they found a land, and they saw a city, and then a boat came out and greeted them. And there was English-speaking people that had left our inner world in the 1600s because they didn't like the tyranny that was going on. Imagine that. Tyranny is going on, and people like, you know what? Screw you. We're leaving. We're going to outer lands and taking our technology and our civilization with us. Well, maybe they don't want that to happen this time. And that's why we are believing we live in the matrix, and that's the globe. It's a prison for your mind. Prison for your mind.
David Wise is with us, and he'll tell you more about his get-together this weekend, and that'll be fun. Flat Earth Dave is his contact. Let me do a little break here, Sir David, and then we'll...
FlatEarthDave.com.
FlatEarthDave.com. FlatEarthDave.com. Oh, we had a guest on yesterday, Dr. John Jaquish, and I got turned on to his technology that he created about 7 weeks ago, and it is the coolest thing ever for building muscles. I've got muscles growing. I had my 76, whatever we call it. I don't believe in time. So birthday yesterday, and I've got more muscles today than I have at any time in my life. 6 weeks on this program. And what it is, it's using latex bands. And rather than lifting weights, let me show you like this. Rather than lifting weights like this, right? And then you lift it up here, weights, and you bring it down. These bands are variable resistance, so you always have pressure on the muscle, always, even when you're down here. So the muscle is constantly stressed for the whole time you're doing 15 to 40 revolutions, and the bands come in various strengths, and they don't stretch out like that.
Patrick, let me tell you something about those bands. They're fantastic because when you're lifting regular weights and you go, now it's got all that inertia and it's going up, and it takes a little bit of exercise. It doesn't matter how fast or slow you go. It's the same pressure the whole way. They're actually horrible because they work so well. They really torture you.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, great stuff. I mean, I am so, and what's cool about this is that you do it every day, and you don't get sore. Now, what's that about? Because you're not screwing up your muscles and your joints as well. So check this out. It's on sale right now. I paid $5.49 for mine 6 weeks ago, and then I have it on sale for a pre-Black Friday ditty of $3.99. And you can finance it for 6 months if you want. So that's what I did. I didn't have 549 lying around. So that's what I did. So I just got it and it came. It's really cool. You're going to love this, girls. You can do it. Builds your hormones, builds everything. And you won't get hurt if you do it right. They have the videos. It's so easy to do. 15 minutes a day. Boom. 15 minutes a day. Come on.
That's
very cool. So check it out. It's on the front page of oneradionetwork.com. It's called X3. You don't need a promo code. You get $3.99, the deal on sale. It's colostrum, shaga reishi, elk velvet antler, and this stuff really works. I've been taking 10 years or so, and my testosterone level is like really high. But guess what, guys? You do this X3, and your testosterone levels will go up. Because I used to have a lot of morning wood. Now I have morning redwood after just six weeks. Oh my God. It's like, come on. It's like, what's going on? Yeah, it just boosts your testosterone when you do this program, you lift weights. I have one more quick thing and then we'll go back to Flat Earth Dave. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Oh, this one. As you know, we talk a great deal. Well, not a great deal, but we talk a lot about the thing that's going on with our financial system. It's been called the Great Reset. It's been called the Great Debacle. It's been called who knows what. We don't know exactly what it's going to do, but there's something going on. There's 35 trillion in debt, maybe more. They say 31, but they cook the books, and they're never going to pay this debt. And did you know, I looked at it this morning. Check this out. The interest, just the interest on our current debt that Treasury pays out to the Fed and to the private investors like pension funds. Can you get Dave? Can you guess what it is? The interest on the debt per year?
31 trillion.
A yearly interest. No.
I'm saying the 31 trillion, the yearly interest is an impossible number to even fathom.
Yeah. It's $1.5 trillion a year, just in interest. So if we take in $4 trillion in taxes, right away you got 25% right off the top going to interest on the debt. It's crazy what's going on. And they're raising interest rates, and then we're going to pay more interest, probably be up to $2 trillion in a couple of years, because as they raise interest rates on the bonds, we, the people, we roll over these bonds and then we pay more interest. It's not sustainable. We don't know what's going to happen, but we think that if you have gold and silver, it's a good thing to have. So check out my friend Fed Dashevsky, Numismatic Coins, 800-878-2646. He's a very honorable guy. I've known Fred for 30 years, and he never, he doesn't try to sell you stuff, and he doesn't say the world's going to crash any day. Or the earth, sorry, I didn't use the term world. The earth is going to crash any day, so you need to buy gold and silver. They don't do that thing like they do on late night TV. He's a very honorable guy, 800-878-2646.
Broadcasting from the beautiful Hill Country in Texas, this is OneRadioNetwork.com.
We're with Flat Earth Dave. One of our favorite guys. He's a lot of fun. You spend your whole life talking about this, don't you, Dave?
This is it. I've done this. I've left my own company to spread this message, because this is the message that will free us from slavery.
Yeah.
If you are stuck in the matrix, which is the globe, lost, not knowing who you are, your true power, you'll never get your freedom back. So this is the most important topic, in my opinion, ever. But hey, real quick, on the debt thing, if we paid back $100,000 every hour, I think maybe it's every second, but every hour, $100,000 every hour, it would take 20, and they stopped charging us interest. It would only take 28,000 years to pay it back.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's I like that. It's great. So let's move into a solar eclipse. This is what kind of prompted me to have you on today, because so show folks your model of what we believe it is with the sun and the moon circling the flat plane.
So
show them how that works.
yeah. So
Hope you believe it.
And again, we don't have a rock solid model, but we have a better model than the globe, because people are like, oh,
Right.
show us your map. Our map is the one that they use for actual navigation, right? Our map is the one where we find out that's where planes are actually flying, rather than these ridiculous, trans equatorial routes that these southern flights make. Okay. But in our world, the sun here, I'll just speed it up. The sun and the moon go around, circle around from the east to the west. And the sun will lap the moon. So I'll speed it up a little bit. You'll see that the sun is going to catch up to the moon from here and take about 14 laps around, because it laps the moon once every 28 days.
Oh, because it goes faster than the moon?
It's going slightly faster. So wherever the sun is, it's noon. Okay. So the sun keeps track of the hours and the days. It's a clock, right? The moon gets lapped by the sun once every 28 days. Did you know that we used to have 13 months of 28 days?
13 what? Months?
Months. There used to be 13.
The word term months comes from?
They
is
stole
months?
it from months, right? And there used to be 13 of them, 28 days, and then there's like one leap day in there.
So this is what you're showing now to your left is where so what about the phases? How does that work?
So the phases and the position of the moon keep track of the weeks and the months. So right now we're at a half moon and it's increasing, and then when it's on the opposite side, it'll be a full moon, and then the sun will start catching up. It'll go to a waning quarter, and then when the moon comes towards the sun, we go into a new moon, right? And I'm going to prove to you that this whole model of the heliocentric reason for the phases is nonsense. So what is the light on the sun? Well, it's arguably, provably not. Wait, before we go, the other thing is the stars also circle around in the same manner. And the stars, where's my stars? Here they are. The stars are going slightly faster than the sun, slightly, right? The sun is lapping the moon every 28 days, but the stars lap the sun once a year, once every 365 days. So right now, the sun is in whatever zodiac that is, and it'll slowly drift backwards for each month to be in a different zodiac until 365 days from now, it'll be right back to where it is. Right. And that's how we have the sun moving through all the zodiacs. Right. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think I got that. Yeah, I think I got it.
Okay. So the stars outrun the sun outruns the moon. Right. Very simple. And then I wanted to show you, what was I going to show you?
So let me ask though. So the sun is causing the phases because we can see it more clearly, but it's not because the Earth is blocking it as advertised. Right.
So the when you look at the moon, that's what I was going to show you. When you look at the moon, it is a bright light source. You can, if you're in the middle of nowhere, there's a full moon and a clear night, you can read by it. You can see a shadow on the ground, right? You can see the moon will cast a shadow on the ground. It's that bright. How is it possible that a dusty, dirty ball, these are cement balls at noon, okay? Where's the light that's bouncing off of them, traveling 250,000 miles, ignoring the inverse square law of light, and casting a shadow on the ground? For us to see the moon at the brightness that we see it, if you were 100 miles from the moon would appear to be over 60 times brighter than we see the sun from the Earth. That's the only way that brightness could get to us at the brightness that we get. Because every time you double the distance to a light, it's a quarter of the brightness. So it exponentially goes down because light spreads out, just like sound spreads out and fades out. Right. Light spreads out and fades out. So for it to be, a 1 lumen light at a foot away, for it to be 1 lumen at 2 feet away, it has to be 4 times brighter. For it to be 1 lumen at 4 feet away, it has to be 16 times brighter. 8 feet away, it has to be 64 times brighter. Okay. This is not my math. This is globe math. Okay.
Right.
So,
but that's a terrific argument for the moon. Moon has to be something other than this dark gray dusty thing that they showed us on the moon landing.
there's
right?
a lot of arguments.
It's got to be some kind of a plasma light living being soul kind of trippy thing.
Well,
as many people have conjectured.
It has to. It definitely does. Has something to do with women's reproductive cycles. If you ask me, this is Flat Earth Dave talking. I think that the moon its role is delivering and removing souls from this realm. Right? When you look at a single source light on a sphere, you have a hot spot and then it fades out. But that's not how we see the moon. Okay, we see the moon and it's evenly lit, like it's its own light. Okay,
right.
So that's
so it has to be its own light, right? I mean, just logic. It has to be.
It has to be.
Has to be.
Right. And how far away is it? God, I don't know. It sure looks close to me. We watched the moon rise and the sunset yesterday out on the water. And I don't know, that moon. I mean, New York City was, I could see the New York City skyline 25 miles away. And I look at the moon on the other horizon as it's coming towards me. And it sure looked closer to New York City.
And so we don't know exactly how far away it is. NASA says it's 250,000 miles. And NASA says the sun is 93 million miles.
Yeah, absolute nonsense. Right? Here's and we don't know the shape or size either. This is not a sphere. This one, you've seen this. Is this a sphere? This one is flat, right? So what is going on there? What is going on? Right? We don't know. If you don't know the size or the distance, you don't know anything. Right?
Also, on the moon landing thing, there was no light up there. So how did they explain that?
Well, the sunlight was lighting them up, just like the sunlight lights up the Earth. But for us to see the moon at the brightness that we see it, it would be so bright on the moon that they would never be able. They would vaporize.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you can't imagine the sun being twice as bright as it is, right? You can't because it's the brightest thing we've ever experienced, right? It has to be over 60 times brighter for us to see it at the distances and sizes that they tell us. So that once you understand that their math doesn't hold up, you got to let go of the ball at some point. Okay.
Math doesn't work.
The math doesn't hold up.
Let me ask you a question. And this came up for me and I don't quite understand it. So I'm walking on, I have 15 acres here. I'm taking a walk with my dog last week and I'm walking towards the south, Dave. And let me put up my thing here so you can see me. So I'm walking towards the south. And to my left, about 45 degrees. To my left at 45 degrees. Where's my left? I don't know. Here's my left.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Dave? I have a package that I've got to get. I wanted to put you on full screen and you rock and roll. Do whatever you want.
Will you be able to hear me?
No, I'm going to be back. Go ahead.
All right. So think about this. You got the sun in the sky and the moon in the sky, and the moon, we don't see it when it's a new moon, supposedly, because there's no light on it. The light's on the backside, right? But when the light's on the backside of the moon, that means it's facing a fully lit Earth. And the Earth shine, just like we have moonshine, should light up the moon. We should see something. Okay? How come we don't see a moon going across a star-lit sky? And if it's a new moon, how come we don't see a circle cut out of the sky, like a circle of missing stars? Like right here, like if there was a moon in the sky, there should be no stars, but we never see anything moving across the sky blocking stars like that. It's quite interesting. And one thing Patrick was asking about was the eclipse that happened just a few hours ago. And I don't know if it was a true 100% Seleninian, I can't ever pronounce that, eclipse, but I know that it was at least partial, but we've had over 50 documented Seleninian eclipses where the observer can see the moon and the sun both above their horizon. Okay. Well, if it's the Earth that's coming up in between, how the heck can we have an eclipse when they're both above the horizon? That means the Earth is not in line with it. Okay. And the last one we had, the shadow came in from the top. Well, if the Earth is rising up, getting in line, the shadow should come in from the bottom, but it came in from the top. And then the eclipse we had last night, it shadowed, if that was a shadow, I just think it's a dimming of the moon. And all of a sudden it just turned red. Okay. What happened there? Right. I think that it's a dark body, translucent body that goes in front of the moon, some sort of nodal point. You back, Patrick? I don't think you can hear me yet.
I can hear, but I was listening. So I had to get a package I've been waiting for, and a guy knocks on the door out here in the country. They'd leave. But I was listening a bit even downstairs, and that's what I was saying when I did in the country, right? I had 44 degrees, right? The moon was to my right, to the west, and the moon was to the east, and the sun was to the west, 45 degrees, right?
Right.
From where I was standing. So how is that even possible in a heliocentric model? Because they claim the Earth is shading the moon, and it was a half moon. I mean, it wouldn't it'd be possible, right? It'd be impossible.
Yeah, well, the lunar eclipses only happen.
No, I'm just talking about shading the moon, where you can see them both in the horizon, like you were talking about when I was downstairs, right?
Right. Well, the Earth would have to be in alignment. It would have to be in between. But if they're both above the horizon of the viewer, the eclipse can't happen. And the problem is, as they come into alignment, that shadow would come in from the bottom, but it comes in from the top sometimes, right? We're in this corkscrewing, gravitational, impossible, heliocentric, spiraling universe, and somehow all of the stars reset themselves every year to the exact same position. All of the eclipses go through the same cycle, and every 18 years repeat the exact same cycle. This is impossible. This is absolute and total nonsense.
So to be clear about that, every year the stars circle around us, right? Around us, right?
So so check this out. We're in this heliocentric, crazy universe, right? Where the stars are we're spiraling. Okay, we're spinning, we're orbiting at 66,000 miles an hour. We're chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour, and we're flying through the world. Go out tonight, everybody, in your yard, find a clear spot, take a picture of the stars, okay, and save the picture. Put a note in your calendar every year, same night, same time, to do the same picture from the same spot, and every single star will be in the exact same position, even though
1 year.
In 1 year, 10 years, 100 years. Do it every day, every year for the rest of your life. Compare all the pictures, and every star will be in the exact same position.
And why is that impossible in the heliocentric model? Say again.
We're traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. Okay.
Is that what they claim? Is that what NASA claims?
4.5 billion miles.
Come on.
Or 4.5 billion miles. That's just one of the directions we're going. And then all of the other stars, they're all orbiting their own binary stars, or, supposedly orbiting each other. Everything's going like a crazy beehive, right? Where bees are flying in all different directions. Whoops. And somehow everything resets itself. And then, they tell us that the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, and the moon is 400 times smaller, but the sun's is so far away that
they're the same size.
They're the same size, or maybe they're just the same size. So if that was the case, 400 times bigger, 400 times farther, the idea that they would line up perfectly is close, is literally 0.00000 something percent chance of that ever happening. The chances of it happening again are equivalent to you winning the Powerball a second day in a row. Okay, probably way worse, right? And the problem is there's eclipses every year, every couple of years. There's a pattern, and then 18 years later, the entire pattern repeats again and again and again. Okay, again, this absolutely debunks the heliocentric model, right? They can't even fathom a three-body problem, right? Right? You know what the three-body problem is?
No.
So in science, they have they have they can get a supercomputer, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Fix that. They get a supercomputer and they can say, okay, we got a sun, it's at this big, and we got a planet, we put it in orbit, and we got this much gravity, and it could predict what it's going to do forever and ever and ever. They could tell you exactly where it's going to be, whatever. Then you add a third body in, either a moon circling the Earth, or or another one circling the sun, and the entire model goes into chaos mode. Okay, it goes into complete and total chaos mode, and no supercomputer in the world can figure out what it's going to do next. That's just 3 bodies, right? We have all of our planets. Some of our planets have 80 moons, NASA now tells us, okay? So we have hundreds of bodies in our little mini solar system ourselves. Everything's held on by this magic gravity moving at ridiculous, impossible speeds, but they can't figure out what 3 bodies are going to do, let alone all of these bodies, and somehow they're able to predict every single thing. When we had these planetary alignments, there was a couple this year where like everything lined up. Shouldn't their gravities tug? Shouldn't the sun's gravity, since it could hold on to Pluto, tug on our moon, which is 1,000,000 times closer? Shouldn't it? But no, in the geocentric model, the Earth's gravity holds onto the moon and it's more powerful than the sun's body. But the sun can hold on to the Earth and Jupiter and Pluto, but it ignores our moon. Okay? This is pseudoscience, absolute nonsense. This is where they're laughing at us. Okay? This is where they're laughing.
I just flashed on something. Could you do a debate with a NASA guy? Couldn't we do a show on that?
No NASA guy will come on with any of us.
They won't come on. Won't come on.
No.
You've tried?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, we did an open letter to him, and he's like, we're not gonna talk to flat earthers. That's so stupid. Because but they're constantly doing damage control. They're constantly doing damage control. When we explain what gravity really is, why things go down, they don't like that. They don't like that. When we describe that nuclear bombs aren't real, now Neil deGrasse Tyson on Bill Maher the other day goes, well, nuclear bombs don't have radiation anymore. Okay, what? Bill Maher's like, what are you talking about? They're damage control every single day, because we're exposing this stuff nonstop. And if people don't get their heads out of their rear ends and wake up, we're going into the dark ages. But there's a lot of people waking up. And they can't.
We're going to have a golden age, right, David? We're going to have a golden age.
I believe so. It just.
I think so too.
But people just can't sit on their hands. They got to speak out and say something. There's plenty of people that know that need to speak out. There's plenty of people that don't know. You got to start thinking. You got to start using your God-given brain. Okay. There's so many people here that have been calcified. Their pineal glands have been calcified with all the garbage. Right? Their blood has been poisoned. They're breathing in garbage. They're eating garbage. They're watching garbage. The news steers your mind, north, east, west, south. News is steering your mind with the headlines. What are headlines? Worrying lines in your forehead. Okay? The headlines to keep you worried. Right? What do you watch when you watch the news? What do you get? You get cancer when you watch the news. That's what you get. Okay? Yeah. Because it's just absolute and total nonsense, and it's putting every cell in your body in fear. Like you're watching the news, like, oh my God, Putin's going to bomb us. We need to do something. We're going to be nuked. It's the end of the world. Well, what if you found out nukes weren't real? What if you found out radiation, that nuclear bombs don't have radiation because there's no such thing as a nuclear bomb? What if you found that out? Then every time you hear that on the news, if you're still watching the news, you can just laugh. Every cell in your body will laugh. Laughing cures, illness. So they want us in fear. They want us limiting our thoughts. They want us stuck in the matrix, the globe. It's a prison. The globe is a prison, right? What's beyond? There's more. This place is an amazing creation. We are the beneficiaries of this creation. And the evil elite that are running this place don't want us to know that.
No, well said. Well said. I think that was the main argument for doing the whole thing. 60 years ago in grade school, they were telling me, Patrick, that Russia was going to nuke us at any moment.
Yeah.
And we would go under the desk and we would do our little things.
Duck and cover. I did it.
Yeah, duck and cover and come on. Yeah, I'm with you, David. I don't think they exist. I don't know why. Just intuitively, right. I just don't think they exist. I don't know.
Well, I mean, just real quick, there's video of them stacking TNT at ground zero, but 3 days after the bombs went off, there was bombs, right? Sure. The trains were open, the sandwich shops were open, people were selling flowers on the street, and everybody was back to work. Okay. Tokyo opened, right? Here, the Nagasaki opened, right? 3 days later. Does that sound like a nuclear bomb? And then nobody was allowed to report on it except one guy. He was the only one allowed to take pictures, the only one allowed to write articles. Anyone else that did was put in jail. Okay.
Really?
So they controlled the whole thing. And now look at, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Thriving cities, plants, animals, and people thrive there. They have less cancer there than we have here in the United States. Okay. So
wow.
There you go.
So this is a good one from Wayne. So do you think then when Elon Musk shoots up a rocket that flat earthers say the satellites are just on balloons, that he doesn't really even shoot these rockets up? Thanks for the show. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you catch somebody faking something once, okay, you can basically say, okay, they're liars, and they're just liars, right? Right. If you catch them, NASA faking stuff in space just once, right? You can basically unwind it to everything they ever told us is a lie. So I'm trying to find here we go. There it is. So this should be enough. This is Elon Musk with his rocket that's going to go to Mars. This is a test flight, and this is unedited. I'm going to show it to you. You have to watch it. It's about 1 minute. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
So look how slow this thing's moving. What is this? What is this little flame? Okay. Now notice camera angles. The camera angles from the side, right? We're going to have a far shot in a second. There's a far shot. It's not very high because look at the angle. If it was really high, you'd be looking up at it, right? But here's the onboard. So now look, how high is this? This looks like it's maybe 50 feet in the air, if you ask me. But then all of a sudden we have this shot up here. Now the engines have turned off and it's free falling. Look at the smoke. Now use your head. Is this 40,000 pounds of steel falling out of the sky, or is this something else? Now look at the smoke. It's barely moving. It's barely moving.
Wow.
Okay, what is this? All right, now watch the aerial shot. Now look how high it is. Oh my God. This is what they showed us live. Okay. Now it's coming down. Now look at the side angle. This is a ground shot. What the heck is going on? Now look how high they are all of a sudden. Okay. It gets worse. Ready? Now there's 3 engines. They're going to turn on. It's going to flip over upright. The cameraman's going to dive, edit, go right underneath it like a movie. 2 of the 3 engines are going to burn out. Watch. 1, 2, 1, 2. And this little flame is going to land this thing in a whole bunch of CGI smoke. Ready? CGI smoke. And it's going to land upright. If you think this is real, and of course it's a large penis, okay? If you think this is real, I can't help you. If you understand that this is fake, every single thing Elon does is fake, okay?
Fake.
There's a video. I have a video. It's called Elon Musk Fraud. It's by Greg Reese. Look up Greg.
Yeah,
Reese.
we put it on the front page the other
right.
day.
That is amazing. Greg Reese is full on flat earther. He knows. It's like if you can't see through this, right? Elon Musk is coming off as our hero because they're putting him out there. He's buying Twitter, free speech,
free speech. Yeah.
Nonsense. It's absolute and total nonsense. Okay. It is.
Dave, on this thing you just showed us, that's amazing footage. Allegedly from Elon Musk. Steven Spielberg could do a better job than that. Come on. I mean,
I could do a better job.
That would be a dumb thing to put in a movie. Nobody would believe it.
I could do a better job. Ready for this? You see this?
What's this one?
I'll show you this one in a second. But here's in a field. All right. Look at this landing.
Somebody says that's real?
No, I made that with a lighter.
Oh, you made that one. I'm sorry.
With a lighter. The budget was like $4. All right.
$4. Okay.
$4. NASA gets $65 million every single day. All right. But if once you look at, like, people don't understand these vertical landings are impossible. This is impossible. Okay. Right. This is just a cartoon. Right. And then let me just go through a couple of these. So,
sure.
So we have the argument, fisheye land, look, it's flat. No, it's curved. Right. So these little milk crates are going to land this thing. It's going to land on a raft out in the 800 miles off the Florida coast, 800 miles off the coast. Right. If you've ever been on the ocean, it's rarely calm, but it's always calm when they're landing these rockets. Right. So this thing is falling. Right. It's falling. There's the rock. There it is right there. Look, see, there's the, and it's going to land on this drone ship with no person ever there. And just before it lands, the camera always freezes. And then they're like, oh, you missed it. And then they show a picture later. Oh, the camera went out. Right. So here's another one. Okay. So you got the drone ship view, right? What? Like that could have just been someone could be holding this little model and going, whoop, dropping it right in, right? Drop it right in, right? Here's another one coming down. These little fins, these little grid fins, these little milk crates are steering this thing, right? There's one video of them landing, right? Oh, look, there it is. In the middle of the night, no one's there to witness it. Almost perfect bullseye, right? In like 30 knots, in with like 5 to 10 foot waves. There's no way that you'd have a hard time standing on that thing, let alone this thing, by the way. These legs, this looks small. A 6 foot tall person can walk underneath them. That's how big it is. Okay, watch when this thing's come down. It's like 10 feet between the bottom of the rocket and the ground. Okay, this thing is huge. I don't even think you could balance it on a raft that small. Okay, and it's landing on these rafts 800 miles out in the ocean. Look, flat Earth. What? It's almost concave. Wait, curved Earth, right? They go back and forth because they want us arguing. Oh, look, the Earth is flat. When reality, no one's ever up there. Again, here they come. Again, it's just going to land. All right, now look how high it is. It's above the clouds. This thing is free falling. Imagine throwing a car off the Empire State Building. How fast is that thing going to go? This thing's going to go in this little flame. This little flame is going to hold it upright and steer it to land it directly on a little raft floating in the middle of the ocean. People need to start thinking. But they think, oh my God, they wouldn't lie about that. I just have to believe, Neil deGrasse, look, camera went out because of the vibrations, right? The vibration. Oh, there it is. It's landed. Okay. They say the vibrations make the camera go out, but the camera that's mounted to the vibrating thing doesn't go out when the other one does. Okay. Look, curved Earth.
Does it really cut you to the quick kind of thing, or get your goat, if I can use that term, that they really are making fun of us?
Oh, 100%.
Does that really get to you? Does it get to you?
It does. There's this one, this YouTuber, he got to go up on Blue Origin, and it is the most edited nonsense ever. And the problem is people have a hard time. Like, oh, that guy looks like a really nice guy. He's got a huge YouTube channel. He's got 58 million subscribers. He gets 20 to 50 million views per video, which means he's making millions and millions of dollars because you get $4,000 for every million views. Okay. And he sold out somehow for some reason. I don't know, how they did it, why they did it, what he did it, but they got him and he faked being in space. And the footage is unbelievable. We're like, show us the uncut footage of when they're floating for that minute or that 4 minutes, but they only show us 1 or 2 seconds at a time. Edit. It's
Here's an email from Whitney. What is the flat Earth explanation for change of seasons and shortening of daylight hours after the summer solstice?
Yeah, so that's a great one, and it's the easiest one. And actually, seasons are my favorite question whatsoever that absolutely prove that we're on a flat Earth. So let me show you here, and it's going to take a minute, and it's worth the time. You got my screen up, okay?
Yep.
So here, I can't reach all the way over. So this outer yellow line here is the Tropic of Capricorn, and the inner yellow line is the Tropic of Cancer. Now look at the sun right now. It's close to the Tropic of Capricorn. It's going over Australia. But if I jump forward 2 months to December, right, the end of beginning of January, end of December, the sun is over the Tropic of Capricorn. So if I was on Australia, the sun goes right over my head. It's high in the sky.
Yes.
Okay? But if I'm up here in Connecticut, I'm looking out south at the sun. So it's lower, just like streetlights, lower in the distance. Okay.
I see. Yeah,
right.
That's good.
And so anything in between those two tropics is called the tropics. That makes sense. Anything inside the inner circle is called the Arctic region, and anything outside this outer circle is called the Antarctic region. Now, look at this. If you talk about wordplay, what is it? If I'm inside, if I'm in the middle, inside the Tropic of Cancer, what is the sun doing? Is it arcing around me? Yeah, it's arcing around me. So I'm in the Arctic region.
Arctic. Ooh.
Okay. And now if I'm
That's cool.
outside, anywhere outside, if I'm out here in Antarctica, is it arcing around me? No, it's antarcing. It's coming to me and away. Antarcing. The Antarctic. Okay. The Antarctic.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. So just to run this home for the listener, thought experiment. So you and I, you come up to visit me here in Connecticut in January, which is a big mistake. And we're sitting outside in a frozen field and it is freezing. And we're 20 feet apart because we need the social distance because, you know how it is. And we're trying to drink our beers. Our beers are frozen. It's just freezing outside. Okay. We're bundled up. And then the person that wrote that question, it comes over and it's got a 15-foot stick with a big, powerful heat lamp and holds it 15 feet directly over your head. And you're like, and it melts all the snow around you. Your beer melts, you're drinking it. And I say, Patrick, if you're warm, that must be your summer. Where's your sun? And you're like, oh, it's up here. It's up here. And then I'm like, well, I see it over there. And I'm pointing at like 45 degrees. It's farther away. It's lower in the sky for me. Now, that if she walks over to me, keeping it exactly 15 feet in the sky, and it takes her 6 months to get to me, I'm going to watch it go higher and higher and higher and higher and higher in the sky until it's my summer. And you're going to watch it go down. You're going to watch it go. It's going away. It's going away, right? And
it's summer and winter. Summer and winter. The whole tilted idea, they tell us that we're tilted away from the sun in our summer, in our winter, and so the sun has to spread over a bigger area. That's cool. But what about sunrise? That's the worst tilt ever. Sunrise is an 89-degree tilt, not a 34-degree tilt. 80, when the sun's on the horizon in the summer, as soon as it shows up here on the horizon, I could feel the heat. It's strong. It's warm. I could take my shirt off, right? And in June and July, it's super warm, even when it's at the most possible tilt possible. Okay. And they tell us in the heliocentric model that the sun is 3.5 million miles farther away from the earth. So we got the worst tilt ever, 3.5 million miles farther, and I could feel the heat. It's warm. But in the winter, in December 21st, at solar noon, when the sun is still low in the sky, but it's way higher than the horizon, it's like, 40 degrees up in the sky, I could look at the sun and barely feel the heat. I can't take my coat off because I'm freezing, with a much more direct angle, and it's 3.5 million miles closer, according to heliocentrism. Okay. Here's the problem with what I just said. There's no problem with it. The problem is that most people just short circuit and are like, I can't think that many thoughts at once because I wasn't taught to think that way. I was taught something else and I can't get it out of my head. And I can't understand the perfect sense that you just made that absolutely disproves the globe. That's the problem. I understand that. Well said. Yeah, here's an email from Dennis. I saw a video showing the rays of the sun through the clouds. Clearly, you can see the angle of the rays relative to the position of the sun to the earth. If the sun was 93 million miles away, there would be no angles of the rays, but just straight lines rays. The sun is much closer. Anyone with eyes and a brain can see, only come to that conclusion. Can Dave explain the moving sun with regards to the changing seasons? Oh, I think we just did that. We did that.
So the sun spirals 6 months into the Tropic of Cancer and 6 months out, right? And so if you're in between those tropics, the sun will pass over you twice. If you're outside of them, it only comes near you and then it goes away. Okay. It comes near you and then it goes away once a year. Okay. But if you're in between the tropics, like you're on the equator, it'll cross over you twice. That's why it's so hot on the equator, because the sun's never that far away. Right. So here's the thing. It sounds like you have some people here that are actually curious, that are smart enough to let me hear what he has to say. I have questions. Right. If you want to learn about the flat earth, first come to the summit this weekend.
Do the summit.
It's worth it. But if you don't want to spend $50, I get it. It's a mistake, but I get it. get the app. Okay. My app is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. And I'm offering 3 Bitcoins if you can take the challenge. Here's the challenge. Every day there's a new video right here. Click it, up comes a video with other videos that follow it. Just watch that video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is a globe, hit me up with 1 globe proof, you win 3 Bitcoins. But before you do, you have to hit the question mark button up in the upper right there. If I hit it, up comes the top questions that everybody asks. Hey, what about the ISS? What about gravity? What about seasons, which we just talked about? If I hit what about seasons, up come videos that they don't want you to see. This playlist alone will blow your mind. Okay.
Wow.
But these are videos that they don't want you seeing. There's tons of other resources, but Patrick, the best thing on here, especially if you're already a flat earther, is the ability to find other flat earthers around you. Okay. So this is called the Friend Finder. These are the other flat earthers that are just around me. Isn't that crazy?
In the Northeast. Wow. Look at this.
And I could tap on one of them and I could say, hey, I can send that person a message, right?
Oh,
messaging. I can do all sorts of things. I can go, I could say, you know what? I'm going to have a meetup. Hold on a second. I just froze my app for a second. I'm going to have a meetup on this weekend or whatever. So I'll go into the Friend Finder and I'll say, I'm going to turn on my radius counter. I'm going to say 50 kilometers. I'm going to say save. And then if I hit the radius button on the bottom right, there's 476 people within 50 kilometers. I'm going to say, hey,
come to my house.
Come to Rico's Pizza, 123 Main Street this Saturday at 4 p.m. Bring your friends, right? So bam, there it is. I'm not going to hit send.
Wow.
And then I could send it, and everyone gets a message, and they can communicate back and forth. And it's kind of amazing. It's the best way to meet people. I mean, there's already people getting married. There's already babies. This is.
I was just thinking, you should do like flatearthdating.com and do a flat earth dating site.
Well, Patrick, this is there's profiles in there, so you can click and you kind of poke around, like, oh, this person's interesting. You can introduce yourself. But here's the thing, Patrick. Every single blue dot on here, every single one is an awake and aware, beautiful mind, right? This is the UK. Look at all these people in the UK, right?
Wow.
And look at the US. Look at the east side of the US. It's incredible, right? And it's growing by leaps and bounds every day. So you have
tell folks about the app and how do they get that?
The app is called the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Don't try to remember the name. It's flatearthdave.com. Top link. Click it. It's for Android. It's for Apple. It's only $3. However, full disclosure, if you want to send messages or read messages from other people, you can see the Friend Finder. But if you want to do that, if you want to use the weather app in there, which is an ad-free, amazing weather app, and a couple other very small features that have to do with the Friend Finder, you have to subscribe. And the subscription, are you ready? It's a bank breaker. It's $11 a year.
Oh, well, okay? Yeah, I can't handle that.
It's $11 a year, but I made it. There's some people like, hey, and I'm on my parents' cell bill. I can't put that thing on there. Is there any way you can do it? Yeah. So what we have is a referral program on the top middle button up there. If I click it, those are the number of people that have used my referral code, which is DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. So I tell someone about the app. They download the app. They put in my referral code. It says, hey, do you have a referral code? Put in my referral code. And bam, my number goes up by 1. Okay. So if you get 11 or more referrals, you can cash them in for a year subscription.
Wow. That's great.
Right? Pretty good.
I'm glad that you're doing these things that are really, really, really affordable stuff, because so much stuff out there now, the technology is very, very expensive. I just tuned in, says Nancy, but my main question is, how deep is our flat Earth? Are we just a half a sphere with all the water, oil, and gas beneath it?
That's a great question. And I'm gonna answer it, but I want to make one more point on the Friend Finder. Everyone's like, you should charge $50 for this app. I want everyone to have it. That's why it's $3. Okay. And you don't need the subscription if you just want to learn stuff and you don't care about communicating with other people and doing a few other things. That's all fine. But I actually want you to subscribe, because this app is costing me over 5 figures a month to run. So I need a lot of the server costs, the Friend Finder, all of this stuff costs money. and it's just costing more and more and more. I'm not complaining at all because we have.
But you got to get the people to do this thing.
But $11 a year, if people subscribe, I can make it bigger and bigger. I'm adding more and more features to it. So, what was the question that she just asked? Because I have a good answer.
How deep is the ocean? How deep? How deep is the flat Earth?
How deep is the flat Earth? Yeah. So the deepest hole ever dug is called the Great Borehole, and it's in Russia. And they dug this hole for years, and they used ground penetrating radar to see what they were going to hit next. And it was wrong every step of the way. They're like, hey, there's no more water. They hit water. Hey, there's no more rocks. They hit rocks. Hey, they're wrong. And they dug, and then about 7.5 miles, they hit something impenetrable, and they couldn't get through it. They tried with heat. They tried blowing it up. They tried drilling with diamond. They tried for years and years and years and years and years, and they couldn't get through it. Okay? So what is that equivalent to? Well, if the Earth was an apple, a Macintosh apple that has very thin skin, they drilled a quarter of the way through that skin. A quarter of the way through the skin.
And they
stopped. Were wrong every step of the way, but somehow they know the next 4,000 miles to the core. Okay. This meme was in everyone's pseudoscience book in school, and there's absolutely zero evidence of this. And talk about the elite laughing. What's at the center of our Earth? Do you remember in Earth science? What's at the center of our Earth? A molten magnetic core. Molten magnetic core, right? That's where our magnetic field comes from. Nonsense. Okay. Well, if you know anything about magnets, when you heat a magnet, before it melts, it hits something that's called the Curie point. And when it hits the Curie point, it loses all magnetism. So a molten magnetic core inside of this meme that there's zero scientific evidence for is a joke. It is literally mocking. Hey, these people are so stupid. They don't know that you can't have a molten magnet. Okay. Right. And then we believe that lava is getting sent up cracks and shooting out of the top of volcanoes. That's also nonsense. Nonsense.
Excellent.
Everything's nonsense, Patrick.
I know. Yeah, we do a thing on my show every now and then is I ask people to write down on a list of everything you believe to be true. Everything. Whatever. Reincarnation, karma, I don't know. The money system, dollars of money is real, whatever. And you'd be surprised. It's really fun to look at that list all the time and say, do I know that, or do I just believe it? Do I know that?
Yeah.
How much stuff do we know for sure? For sure.
Yeah.
I know that I'm alive and conscious. That's about it.
I don't know. That's debatable too. You might be the only person in this game. Everyone else is part of a simulation. Okay. You don't know for sure, but I can tell you some things for sure. I can tell you that my thoughts create my reality.
I know that. You're right.
That's something absolutely provable, right?
Yes.
I can tell you that amazing coincidences happen when I think of things. When I focus my energy purely, things magically happen, right? Magic might not be the wrong word. We live in a magical place. We live in a place where our thoughts create a reality where nobody has control over us. The only people that have control over you is in your imagination, okay?
Yes.
We live in a world where we allow people to break our free will because they're not breaking our free will. We're agreeing to it. We're allowing. They're not allowed to break our free will, but they can trick us and scare us and do all sorts of stuff where we're like, oh, yes, please stick that in me. And please, take 40% of everything I do. And please do all of this stuff because without it, there would be chaos. They taught us that utopia isn't real. Okay. Nonsense. Okay. They're programming our minds with fear and lack. In school, they tell us how much of our DNA do we use? 2%. How much of our brain do we use? 10%. Okay. Right. In reality, we use 100% of our brain. Well, some of us do. And and our DNA is amazing. But for some reason, people want to change their DNA. Well, we're not going to get into that because I want to put this on YouTube.
Well said. And I know for a fact that as a spiritual being in a body, that the only way anything gets into me is if I break it from the inside. If I get fearful, if I get, want to attack somebody and get defensive, otherwise nothing can get in and touch me. Nothing.
Patrick, there's so many natural cures for things, but you're not allowed to talk about that, right? You're not allowed to talk about that. You have to just, big pharma, you got to do all that stuff. And there's natural cures, and all of the pharmaceutical allopathic stuff is chemicals made from petroleum trying to imitate
Yeah.
a natural substances. I was like, oh, essential oils, how stupid, a little drop, what's it going to do? But then one day I hurt my back really bad, and the doctor gave me this muscle relaxer. And I took it. It was a tiny little pill, and I took it, and boom! Like what the hell is going on, right? And then I started doing some research on this pill, and I found that it's 99% filler. The 99% of that pill size was just like flour, and the medicine was just like a tiny little dust particle. And so then I'm like, oh wow, maybe these essential oils have some real power. And you should see my medicine cabinet. It looks like Dr. Jekyll with all the little droppers.
Yeah, little balls. Yeah,
no allopathic medicine at all. And when a doctor tells you something's incurable, you should go, oh, I should have known that because I have to cure it from within. We can cure everything. It's all incurable.
Which I think is part of the heliocentric idea that we're just insignificant things floating around in space and all the answers are out there rather than inside, right?
Everybody go to flatearthdave.com, click on the summit, use the code FEDAVE50 to get 50% off, and bring the whole family. Okay, bring the whole family. Share it with your boyfriend and girlfriend. Don't say I said that, but you can share it and watch it together and talk about it, because it's going to be amazing speeches. Peggy Hall, Amanda Vollmer, Dave Murphy, gonna blow your mind.
Oh, Dave! Oh, we love Dave. He's cool.
Dave's gonna blow your mind. David Avocado Wolf. He's on 11/11 at 11/11. He's doing his speech. Okay.
Oh, that's fun. You got David Wolf, David Murphy. Oh,
Dave
good.
Murphy, Dave Wolf, and then Brian from High Impact Flicks. He's gonna be good, and then Iru and Jaron and Austin, and of course this good-looking guy right here, David Weiss.
David Wise.
I'm doing a speech on how to talk to family and friends, who not to talk to, with Caleb from TikTok. This guy is a driving force on TikTok, waking up so many people with his flat Earth short little videos. They're amazing. So
I don't know how to say this without sounding kind of egocentric or whatever. I don't know, but it's really amazing that the people who really understand the heliocentric model is a phony. They really get a lot of other stuff. The same people, you know what I'm saying? They get it.
Let me tell you
a lot of stuff. Yeah,
I was talking to people, about what I called exposing the big three: the New York event, the Connecticut event, the Boston event, all these other things. And people are like, I don't know. Then you wake them up to the flat Earth, and all of a sudden they can see. They're like, whoa, look at everything. All of this stuff is nonsense. Right. Yeah. And once you see the flat Earth, once you see the globe lie, once you see the level horizontal plane with hills and valleys. Yes, we have hills and valleys. Okay. It's a level plane. The science of water at rest, large bodies of water at rest, lay level, scientifically testably, scientifically provably level, period. Level's not curved, although globers will try to tell you that.
No. We interviewed Dr. Thomas Cowan. I'll send you the video. And he went through these things like DNA, RNA, mitochondria, blood-brain barrier, immune system. And you know what? It's all made up, David.
Did you tell him the Earth was flat?
It's all, I think, I didn't go there, but it's all made up. They just make this whole thing up. The whole medical model.
It's all made up.
It's all made up. It's just all smoke and mirrors, man. Here is Taylor. As an individual who has engaged with a variety of personalities besides the claims of gravity, how do those that subscribe to the heliocentric, this is what your speech is going to be, respond to the lack of demonstrable, empirical, and physical evidence of liquid water flowing as a body without a container? Never mind the observation that the surface of liquid water, when calm or at rest, lays level. But that's what you said, this guy.
Right. I mean, they say flat earthers are crazy. If you can pull up my screen, right?
Okay.
We say down is down. We say down for Australia, South America, that down is this way, okay? Onto a level observably non-moving flat surface. But the ones that say we're crazy think down is this, okay, from all these different directions, while spinning, while flying through a space vacuum, adjacent atmosphere adjacent to a space vacuum, okay? It's the dumbest crap ever. I can't take it anymore. Okay, Patrick, it's so incredible. Like, first, when I heard about flat Earth, we all have the same story. We laughed at the people. You're idiots. I'm not looking. Hats off to the controllers. They did an amazing programming job on that. Okay, hats off. But when you finally look, and then you really learn, and then you learn more, you look back and go, how did I ever believe that nonsense?
How did I know.
Because here's the thing. Flat earthers know 1,000 times more about the globe model, the fake globe model, than globers do. Because if they knew a tenth, I used to say a quarter, if they knew a tenth of what we know about the globe, they'd be flat earthers. Because the globe is absolute, demonstrably, provably false, right? On a globe, you have a physical horizon. You can't see beyond this physical horizon, okay? On a globe, there's a physical horizon, right? You can't see my mouth because it's being blocked. But on a flat Earth, and that visible horizon is at a scientifically testably, provably measurable distance, okay? You know how far the physical horizon is on a globe, 90, the size that they tell us the Earth is? If you're standing at the edge of a perfectly calm ocean, how far away should the drop be where you can no longer see the surface of the water? Do you know?
I used to know that. No, I don't.
It's 3 miles. Okay. Think about that. So you're on a little island in the middle of the Pacific, wherever, and the water is glass, beautiful, calm,
just
right? You're going to see a circle of a horizon that goes all the way around you at just 3 miles away. Because the water will drop over 6 feet in 3 miles, and it'll be below that physical edge. Okay, you with me?
On the globe model.
On the globe model, right? So it has to be 3 miles away. So now you're standing there and you're looking west, and you're looking out at this water, waiting for a ship to show up because you're stuck on this island, and the sun's going down. The sun's going down. Now the sun is in the sky, and we're supposedly falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound, which makes it look like the sun's going down rather than just knowing that it's going away. Okay. And when it gets below that physical horizon, we're gonna, we have that physical horizon, and the sun's gonna just go below it, right? But we got our physical horizon, and we're spinning away, and the sun goes below it. So we have that physical horizon blocking the sun. That physical horizon where we see the sun intersecting with the Earth is only going to be 3 miles away if it was a globe. 3 miles away. Have you ever watched the sunset over the ocean? Do you think that intersection that you're looking at is 3 miles away?
No way.
It's like 50 miles away. And 50 miles, it's way far away. But the problem is, and I'll be talking about it on the show, is the celestial versus terrestrial perspective. And it's amazing what you can hide with celestial perspective.
Amazing. They have an all-star cast of a whole weekend, and you don't have to watch it live. You can pay your $50 or by using promo code FEDAVE50. Go to flatearthdave.com and sign up. $50, and then if you can watch what you want this weekend and then see the whole thing on recording later on, right? You can
watch it anytime you want. You can back up. If you miss something, you can back up, watch it in double time and catch up. You know, let's say you have to stop for dinner, then you put it up. Yeah, you can watch it double time, catch up. We also have Conspiracy Music Guru, arguably the single best amazing musician in the world. He's better than anybody. If you go to conspiracymusicguru.com, and look and listen to his videos and music. I mean, he's constantly getting deplatformed with his truth songs, but his stuff is absolutely amazing. And in the app, he did a bunch of children's books. Amazing, based on his videos. If you're a flat earther, you have little kids, right? Let them listen to his videos, the moon videos. We never went to the moon. And the kids will love them. They'll learn all the lyrics in their head, and then they get the book and they can read the book because the lyrics are in their head. Kids, like, before they can talk, they can read because of this, right?
Yeah.
It's literally one of the greatest teaching tools ever.
It seems a bit late, but what's the eclipse? What is an eclipse on a flat Earth? Well, we've done that. And so I'm going to post this video on BitChute probably half an hour, and then you can go on and watch it. And Dave goes through the whole thing on the eclipse, so we don't do that again.
Right. And also in my app on the if you go to the frequently asked questions page on the bottom right there, eclipses, clip that, and up comes a whole bunch of videos on eclipses. Amazing. And now we know that we can't fully explain the eclipse, but I can explain it 10 possible ways on a flat Earth. And I could prove to you that the official explanation makes absolutely no sense at all. Okay? Absolutely no sense at all. So all of those videos there, that'll keep you busy for a while. And these videos don't show up on Google, when you search for them. So if you want to learn about it, I made the app to bypass Google censorship, and that's exactly what it's doing.
Energetically, which I'm fascinated with, and possible plasma, moon, possible liquid plasma planets, right? Possible. So last night or this morning was a solar eclipse, a full one. I was up almost all night. That was it. I was just awake. I put this on Faceplant this morning. You should see all the people that had the same experience. Oh, I didn't know it was eclipse in the moon. No wonder I didn't sleep. That's why I couldn't sleep. Similar experience. I'm tired. Over and over. So there's something energetically going on with these beings, whatever they are, David Wise. Something's going on.
There is something, that happens around eclipses, and the elite love doing their rituals on the eclipses. So who knows?
Oh, do they?
Who knows who they ate last night?
Do they know? Well, I think it's fascinating before we go to the idea of how flat Earth is turned into a meme of crazies, right? You hear Obama say it, you hear, everybody, they use the term, you got to be a flat earther, believe that. And they do the same thing with racism, with, insurrectionists, with, I don't know, just fascists, right? They just put these memes on things, and then they run with it, and they repeat it over and over and over again. Yep, that's what they do. Those rascals. Okay, kiddo, thanks so much. Sorry I kept you so long, but it was fun.
It's always good talking to you, Patrick. FlatEarthDave.com for all the links. Hope to see you at the summit. It's going to be amazing. I think the VIP tickets are sold out, but that's okay. You still have a great time with the regular tickets. FlatEarthDave.com. Just scroll down to the summit. It's right there. Click. You're in. Use the code FEDave50 or use Peggy50 if you want to support Peggy. Peggy Hall.
Peggy Hall. Yeah.
Peggy 50. Yeah.
So what's the difference between a premium ticket if it's virtual?
The regular tickets, you're just going to be a viewing link, but the VIPs, we're going to have 95 people in a YouTube room, not a YouTube, but in a Zoom room. Like, we'll have them set up a stadium, and those are people that can ask questions live. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Now there also will be a chat. We'll have moderators reading the chat on the regular stream. And so if you put in questions there, put them in capitals, we'll get to them, if they're good questions.
Good. And did you put this whole thing together?
No, this is done by Jaron from the Jaronism channel and Austin from the Wits It Gets It, who's he's an amazing kid that it knows the science. He can quote the science. I can forget the scientists' names and the years. He's got it all. And he takes these, what we call the anti-flat earthers, the trolls, the globy trolls, and he puts them in their place. It's amazing.
What's his name?
Austin Witsit from the channel Wits It Gets It.
How do you spell that?
WITSIT Gets It.
And he's cool, huh?
He's amazing. He does these debates. Watch his stuff. He's literally a secret weapon that we have. Because these anti-flat Earth channels that YouTube promotes, they're just putting out nonsense. They constantly change their rules, like the Metabunk, which is a disgusting site. But these guys have the curve calculator called Metabunk. But then we proved that it was wrong with what we call the black swan, where we could see the water beyond something that should be 50 feet over the curve, and we could see the surface of the water beyond it. And so he changes the calculator. So now, check this out. Globers claim that even though there's a physical horizon, you can never see it because of refraction. What?
Refraction?
Yeah.
What is that?
You can't refraction because light magically pops up in a mirage and stops at your eye level. It's the dumbest thing ever, right? You can't see the physical curve 3 miles away because of refraction, because of it. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Have you seen the video of the Chicago TV station?
Yeah.
And they could see this thing way far away, and people say, "How can that possibly be?" Because the curve is supposed to be. And the guy said it's a mirage.
So this is what we did. We got two of our guys, Rick Hummer and Rob Skiba, and they got on a boat on a day where you can see Chicago, and they went across the lake 50 miles, keeping it in the camera the whole time.
Yeah,
if it was a mirage, it should have vanished at some point. And they kept it in the whole time, showing you it's not a mirage. It's there.
And if it was a globe using their calculations for a curve, you wouldn't be able to see it.
You wouldn't be able to. I think the very
disappear
top of some of the tallest buildings,
maybe you would see,
might show up. But no, we could see all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah. Well, it's great fun having you, brother. Good luck, and we'll promote your little thing for you. And this week, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate your work. Yeah, you're the bomb, man. You're the bomb. Thank you.
Right, Pat.
See you.
See you.
Flat Earth Dave. FlatEarthDave.com.